A happy evening to everyone. Welcome to the Mahipati Talks. Every day at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, we are having this Mahipati Talks. We are inviting the intellectuals. The main objective of this Mahipati Talks is whenever people would like to learn something else, even though because of the COVID-19, most of the people have been restricted to stay home and work from home. We have been working from home. The colleges stopped, school stopped, but learning never stopped. So we are planning to go ahead with the learning process. And this is a great opportunity, and we are every day we are inviting great personalities who are intellectual in their own field and who have been able to do better, and also who have got expertise in the areas like language, soft skills, personal development, so on. Today we have got today's resource person is D. Ravi, and who has obtained his PhD from English and Foreign Languages University. He flew from Hyderabad, and he did his MA from Nizam College, and he has got more than 1.5 decade of teaching experience. He is a person who trained more than 5,000 students and as a part of the central projects. Then Andhra Pradesh, which is united then. And also he has authored many books. He is an international author. He has authored with Tata McGraw workbook on English grammar and composition. And he has been into training soft skills, especially his forte is how people can understand what are the areas that you can have build up better relationships, polite conversations, all those areas. As of now, today, we are going to have a session by Ravi, and he's going to talk about the topic which is very important for everyone whenever we talk to the people, especially the language teachers. The most important thing is that how we go ahead with the understanding the language and how we can talk to the people, what are the areas that we need to keep in our mind. A very interesting topic called understanding Indian languages and English for communicative competence, which is very important because whether you are a teacher or a trainer or a learner, understanding the Indian languages is very important, and English for communicative competence. We will be learning a lot many things from this session from Ravi. Now I request Ravi to go ahead with the session. Thank you for accepting the invitation, Ravi. I request Ravi, sir, to go ahead with the session.
Thank you for a wonderful discussion and wonderful introduction. Dr. Srinivas is a very good friend of mine. I'm so happy to be part of this online program. Just bear with me. I'm going to share my screen. Just a couple of seconds. Yeah, here we go. So good evening, everybody. I'm very happy to see you this evening. My friend Dr. Srinivas have given a beautiful introduction to me. Thank you for that. And without any further delay, let's go to the topic. As you can see on the screen, the topic of my talk is understanding Indian languages and English for communicative competence. As Dr. Srinivas rightly put, without communicative competence, one cannot survive in any academic or social context. To be able to do well in formal, semi-formal, or even polite, impolite situations, one should have how to speak, write properly to that one must have communicative competence. And before I get into the core of my discussion, I would like to talk about what's communicative competence. Generally, of course, I don't want to use any technical terminology. I don't want to tax any of the viewer today. I try my best to make the presentation as simple as possible. And these slides, the content in it is my observation, research experience, and studies from different researchers. Communicative competence generally have grammatical, sociolinguistic, strategic competence, and discourse competence in it. There was some wrong understanding about communicative competence. Generally, people who are not really good at understanding the definition of communicative competence, they think speaking grammatically right sentences can make them communicative competent enough. I'm sorry, it is not the only factor that can make you potential communicator. Grammatical competence can help you to speak grammatically well-formed sentences, right vocabulary. But one should know how to use it in social context. And one must know how to use appropriate strategy when they're speaking English or any languages. And as you know, discourse competence talks about how you speak and write. If one has all these four competencies, we can say he or she has communicative competence. In my session, of course, I'm not really dealing much with writing skills, writing competence, but somehow, occasionally, I'm going to touch writing and listening, reading too. And I would like to pose a question. Please think about it once. Can L1 communicative competence be carried to L2? If I'm really good at my mother tongue, can it help me to become good at English language? And the answer to the question is yeah, yes, and no as well. Why no? If I know grammar of my mother tongue doesn't mean that I'm going to do well with the grammar of other languages. If I know how to pronounce, how to write something in my mother tongue, it doesn't mean that I'm going to write other language properly. But definitely the strategy, how I write, how I speak can really help me to carry other language too. So exactly the L1 is not going to help you, but somehow L1 is going to be foundation for your L2. In my session, whenever I refer to L1, please understand it as your mother tongue, and L2 as English. Now come to the core of my talk, Indian languages and English. As you can see on the screen, grammar, pronunciation, culture, or the three areas where I would like to focus on in today's presentation. When I talk about grammar, I talk about sentence structure in Indian languages and English, how question tags are framed, helping verbs, verb, how sometimes Indians, we use wrong tense. Instead of simple present tense, we use some other tense, continuous tense, instead of simple. This mixture, how it is happening, why it is happening. We're going to talk about it. The articles, vocabulary, and capital letters. It is a unique feature of English language compared to Indian languages. Pronunciation, I'm going to speak about it a bit extensively today. And cultures. When I say cultures, it is Indian cultures and English. And look at here, this slide will help you to understand. We have sentence structure in both languages. No language survives without sentence structure. But come to question tag, we can see question tag both in Indian languages and English, but the nature is different. We are going to talk about it. We have verbs here, tenses here, but come to the prepositions. Prepositions can be found only in English, but in Indian languages, we call them postposition. We'll discuss extensively about it later. Articles, phonological system, as I discussed. When you come to culture, I'm going to talk about body language, politeness strategies, and impoliteness strategies. Now come to the first point of my discussion. Look at Indian languages. I have a few sentences for you. When I say, Nenu Uttaram Rastunanu, anybody can understand this. Nenu is subject, Uttaram object, Rastunanu verb. Subject, object plus verb is a structure. Here are some more sentences here. Now or letter eludurim. In Tamil, I am writing a letter. My ek uttar likh raha hai. Look at the structure here. In all these sentences, we have subject, object, and verb. Come to English. She is a dancer. I am writing a letter. Subject plus verb plus object. The beginners or the speaker who is not really conscious about this basic difference, he or she tend to commit mistakes in structure. And remember, when you come to the question, look at Indian languages. Avavoru another dupavara, is she a dancer? In Tamil. Nenu uttaram rastunana. Look here, we just changed the main verb. There is no concept of helping verb in English, in Telugu or in the languages. I just changed rastunana and I made change in main verb. But in English, is she a dancer? She is a dancer. Is she a dancer? I changed the structure here. Those who are not well aware of this factor in English language, they tend to commit mistakes. For example, you are coming. Statement. If I ask a question, are you coming? Is a structure of question. But the people say, you are coming, you are dancing, you are listening. Simply, they follow their L1 structure in L2. Therefore, they sound more local than English. Of course, my intention is not to imitate an American Britisher, but as you wish somebody speak language, your language according to the rules of language, maybe people also expect you to speak language according to the rules of that language. Therefore, it is a basic difference one should understand. Look here, if one cannot identify the difference, they say, you called me, it's a statement, you called me as a question. I think it is where we teachers or students must understand the difference. And look at another component, question tag. It's very interesting in English language and Indian languages. Look at Indian language. Nenu uttaram rastunnana leda rastunnana leda So look here, there is no subject in the question tag. నేను ఉత్తరం రాస్తున్నానా, జస్ట్ లేదా, లేకుంటే నేను ఉత్తరం రాస్తున్నానా, రాయట్లేదా, రాయట్లేదా. It's negative, not is there, and verb is there. But when you come to English structure, they are singing, aren't they? He teaches well, doesn't he? It's a good film, isn't it? Let's go to him, shall we? Look here, we have question tag here, and every time we have appropriate helping verb or primary auxiliary. And one should know this. If we teachers cannot make our learners, students aware of this factor, they cannot learn it because they may tend to follow their L1 strategies, grammatical rules here. And sometimes they simply use isn't it. Always. They say, are they singing? They are singing, isn't it? He has submitted our work, isn't it? Let's go to meet him, isn't it? They use just isn't it for every structure. And this is a misunderstanding. Therefore, it's our duty to make the learners understand it. And as a speaker, it is your fundamental responsibility to understand the differences between the languages. Then only you can present yourself confidently, and you can show your communicative competence. Helping verbs. Look at the sentences on your right side. Sheila is teaching well. Sheila has been teaching well. Sheila was teaching well. Sheila will be teaching well. Look, if you just remove is, has been, was, will be, has, was, the sentence is same. But by injecting appropriate helping verb here, we are not only changing the structure, but meaning. Look at the last two sentences on the screen. Vishwa has taught well. Maybe you will understand Mr. Vishwa may be a teacher and he teaches well, therefore he has taught well and he's a teacher. If in place of has, somebody writes was, look at the meaning of the sentence. Vishwa was taught well, and he is not a teacher there. Maybe he was a student and somebody taught him. A just helping verb. But this helping verb is not possible in our Indian languages. We have main verb and we may make changes there. నేను ఉత్తరం రాస్తున్నాను, రాస్తున్నానా, రాసినా, రాస్తూనే ఉన్నానా. Look at, we make the changes in main verb. Come to the verbs. Look at here the difference between Indian languages and English. Sometimes you can see some Indian speakers using V3, perfect tense, when they're speaking in mother tongue. But remember, the structure is not really changed drastically. They use adverb of time in place of in the sentence, therefore they sound a perfect tense. But really, they have no any other option. Look at here. She has taken her breakfast. Versus, look, she took her breakfast. There is a lot of difference between these sentences. If one says, she took her breakfast, maybe she is ready to have one more meal today. One more meal now. Why? She took in the morning somewhere in the past. Maybe she's feeling the sensation of hunger. She can be offered another meal. But when you say she has taken her breakfast, means the effect is still on. Maybe she doesn't like to have one more meal now. This is the difference between perfect tense and past tense. The very structure is different. But when it comes to Indian languages, there is no any particular perfect verb, means V3. In English, we have go, went, gone, going, see, saw, seen. Yeah, we have V3s, but there are no particular V3s in Indian languages. And one more unique feature of English language is we add yes to main verb in simple present tense. Those who are good at grammar, you understand my language better. He loves, he tries, she paints. This adding s business is not possible in Indian languages. Therefore, many of the speakers or users of English in India has a bit challenging task with this S business. They just feel confused how to use it. Why? This system is not available in their mother tongue. Look here, sometimes it is because of influence of mother tongue, or it may be unmindful speaking of English language. Now we use some sentence like this. Instead of saying he has a book, we say he is having a book. You want sound that somebody she is a very good teacher. She teaches very well. She's a wonderful teacher. You must say she teaches well. It means she's a wonderful teacher. But in place of simple tense, you say she is teaching well. You are just referring to a temporary action. You are not at all stating that she is the good teacher or better teacher. She is teaching well now. Maybe she was not teaching well yesterday, will be not teaching tomorrow well, and that is the meaning you are conveying here. But she teaches well is actual sentence if you want to say she is a good teacher. And we never make distinction between sometimes you are unmindful speaker and somebody's unmindful speaker. She said they used past tense in place of perfect tense. But the effect is missing there. And this is one more interesting feature of languages. Look here, a pen table melia iruku. My pen is on the table, and my pen is on the table. Look is mela here on. It is after the table. Look at the English example. She is dancing at the table. On is before table. Ame table pie dance chestundi. Table pie after table. These are I call them postpositions in Telugu or in languages. In English, we have prepositions. Come to articles. We have definite article, indefinite article in English, but there is no such distinction or things in Indian languages. You say o, a, no? But whenever no, it's definite article, indefinite article. It's an article or an adjective or so on. But in English, we have a and the. Another way, weak forms a, an, the, and strong form the. Three articles pronounced in 6 ways with a specific purposes. Because we don't have this, sometimes we have problem in using articles. And come to vocabulary. Really, you might have seen this with many people using this, regular use. These are very commonly used words. They say pants for pants. They say pant. Pant is only one pant, but the actual word is pants. And they say a discussion about in place of discussion. Enter into, of course, enter into agreement, contract. But when you enter the room, enter the hall, enter the theater, it is just enter. And we say somehow best of two and better of two is right phrasing. No, these are the mistakes committed by somebody who is not really mindful of language, or somehow they carry their L1 influences, vocabulary, structures, and other influences. Sometimes the people say, repeat again, return back, although, but, adequate, enough. It's a repetition. Same word. A single word can convey the meaning, but we use two words carry the same meaning. It's a redundant expression. This is interesting one. People say, stop acting. Actually, they won't say, stop pretending. And look at this expression. It's really interesting. May I know your good name? Do you think you have good name, bad name, average name? If you ask this question to some native speaker, they really feel shocked. They think that maybe in India it's possible to have 3-4 names. Therefore, they're asking, they may have good, better, best names. Maybe they're asking for this. I think it is the word, it's a sentence, it's a true translation of Hindi. Aapka shubh naam kya hai? May I know your name is enough. 100 years to you. But this is not, it's a really interesting expression. It is not found. It is nowhere available in English language. Talk of the devil, and he will or she will appear here. And you can say, think of angel. These are expressions. There are plenty of them. Now we'll discuss one day. And capital letters. Look here, this capital letters is a really unique feature in English language. It is not possible in any Indian languages. And this is going to be a big difference in your writing. If you're a teacher in writing a board, if you write him with small letter, if you write H as capital letter, it doesn't mean just an objective place. It is not a pronoun. It becomes God. Nature in capital, nature in small, N in capital, N in small, makes big difference. If you write love, small letter, it means just a love emotion, prema, prem, kadal. If you write L capital, it becomes goddess of love or god of love. It depends on the culture and context. So capital letter is very, very important factor in English language. Come to the next part of my discussion. Indian languages have their special phonological system. It is somehow similar to English and somehow different from English. You can see some sounds have similarities and some sounds are entirely unique property of the languages. One simple rule, letter equal to sound in Indian languages. If you write something there, acha, it is acha, that's all. There is no silent letter. But in English, when you say, right, listen, it is not listen, it is listen. You correct psychology, but it is not psychology, you said psychology. If you look at a spelling, you can read it as a champagne, but it is champagne. A letter not equal to sound. And one must understand this factor. And some sounds are not available in Indian languages. In a different language to language. For example, zoo, za sound is za, exact za is not available in Telugu, therefore they say Jew. They say pleasure instead of pleasure. They cannot make, some people cannot make difference between va labiodental sound van, women bilabial sound wa, because maybe in mother tongue they have only one wa, that therefore they cannot they cannot make difference between va and wa. Sometimes this is a different phenomenon. They say school is school, film film, bottle batil, switch switchu. I'm not really making fun of any language, but this is because of phonological system of their L1. Because they are not really aware of a special phonological system of English language, they bring the L1 rules to in English sometimes. Sometimes, as they habituated their L1 phonological system, they create their own convenience in pronunciation. For example, consonant cluster, 2 consonant sounds, 3, 4 coming together side by side, it is not a possibility in Indian languages. Therefore, the speakers, the users who have this strong phenomenon in their mother tongue cannot say, pronounce consonant cluster. They cannot say school, they say school. Snacks, snakes. Look at here. Sometimes people have incorrect stress marks when they're speaking, uttering words. Between tuition, preface, begin. But they say a bit different. Between tuition, preface, begin. So wrong stress marking. So one should learn how to pronounce the words in English. It is a different feature altogether. For Indians, they must concentrate on it and learn focusedly. I'm going to take some words from different parts of India and I try to introduce them. For example, if you come to an average Odisha speaker, Odia, I'm not really insulting them, it is tendency, it's average tendency among the users of language. They say, instead of, they say sit as seat, veranda as baranda, communication as communication, ship as sip, first as past, perform, perform. Look here, in first example, sit and seat, both words are possible in English language. In case, if you are listener or co-communicator, you are sit, if you say sit as seat, altogether it gives different meaning, different sense of understanding to the listener. Come to some words from Marathi speaker. School is school, Smart is smart. Friends, friends, friends. Therefore, they're poor. From Gujarat, faculty can be faculty, bake, bake, chain, chan, fish, piss, five, pipe, hall, hole. This is how they say, because they cannot make difference between fa and pa. And similarly with speakers who are coming from Tamil as mother tongue, they use ya sound, such as egg, chair, chairman, chairman, chairman. They use ya sound much. Of course, there are many more features of Tamil English, but I'm talking about two words for you. In Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, they say uncle, uncle, Jew for zoo, pen, sometimes pennu. Of course, I understand that many of the speakers are really conscious about this pronunciation. They're doing well, but still, a few people are not really focusing on this element. Therefore, they carry this, wrong pronunciation friends with them. So, what, but, valley, valley, by a Bengali speaker, average Bengali speaker. Temple as temple, uncle as uncle. This is how they pronounce the words, different words. They are pronounced such way because the influence of their mother tongue phonological system. One can pay attention on that and work on the problem very easily. We have many websites, many teachers, many training centers, which helping us to work on this problem. Come to the final part of my presentation. Culture. Look here, body language is different from culture to culture. Maybe you have some similarities, but you must notice that there may be some dissimilarities. So indicating something with your index finger is not appropriate in many of the Indian cultures. But in some cultures, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. For example, know you are English speaker, you know English very well. Sometimes you feel a little uneasy to say Mr., Doctor, or Professor. We would like to say sir many times. But saying Mr. Ravi is absolutely fine. Dr. Ravi is absolutely fine. But our culture says doctor, calling by name, calling somebody with their name is not a good culture. And if you cross your hands over chest, it is offensive in English culture, but it is more polite, obedient. You're paying concentration. You listen to the people carefully. That's the meaning of India and largely in Asian culture. Look here, when I say your shirt is so good today, in English you say thank you. But if you give compliment in Indian languages, if you say "Me shirt chala bagundi," you're looking so beautiful today, they smile. They never respond to that. And moreover, they give reasons. This is an old shirt I bought 2 years ago. My wife gifted it. You give reasons to that. So admitting compliments is a part of English language culture. English culture, but we reject politely in Indian culture. There are many things which are politeness strategies, impoliteness strategies, and social behavior is different. The way you look, the way you stand, the way you use gestures, posture, it is a little different from Indian culture to American culture. So, what I would like to conclude is one must understand the difference between your language and English. This awareness can really make you com- competent enough in delivering language. If you are not able to differentiate between grammatical differences or structural differences or pronunciation differences, you may just follow you are L1, you bring the L1 rules to L2, L2 rules to L1, you mix up the language, you are finally labeled as a bad user of language. In my opinion, your language creates image for you. Your image earns respect for you. Yeah, with this, I would like to conclude my talk. If you have any questions, you're welcome. Please, it's your time. I request Dr. Srinivas, please unmute the viewers so that they can put questions.
Yeah, you can stop sharing the screen, Dr. Ravi, so
Okay.
that they'll be able to see you better.
Okay, sure, sir. 1 minute.
I've unmuted the participants. I request the participants to raise your hand so that it'll be easy for me. I'll unmute yourself, you can speak. If anybody is interested, you can unmute yourself. Any questions? You can also unmute your microphone and speak. Any questions from anyone? There was a question in the chat box while you are sharing. If I'm right, uh, by P. Mataya Yadav, he says that he is glad to attend the program. Gauri ma'am would like to know that Dr. Ravi, please talk about the usage of two comparatives for the same subject. For instance, light is more brighter.
Hi, Ravi Garu, I think you need to unmute your audio. Your audio is muted, so we are
Okay.
not able to hear what you're saying. Good evening, all of you, and good evening to you, Ravi. I've heard your presentation, and
Oh,
you
thank
touched
you.
upon very relevant topic, that is the common mistakes that people from different language backgrounds make when they use English for communication, whether it is spoken or written. And I've followed the examples that you've given, and I also requested if you could include the usage of two comparative terms for the same subject. So I've given an example. This is
Yes,
also
yes.
very rampant. This
Yeah.
is more brighter. Okay, that
Yes.
is more livelier.
More,
So
yeah.
yeah, so I
More
thought,
handsomer. Okay.
yes. So I thought if you could bring the attention of our audience
Yeah.
to that, because that's one of the common mistakes that people commit.
You are right.
So
You are
yeah,
right.
so
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
wonderful.
Thank you, Gauri ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that
You
into
can,
the
so
discussion.
you can please call me
Dr.
Gauri.
Deep,
You don't have to attach the suffix ma'am to
yes, Dr. Ravi
this
said right
name.
now, so we need to call
Right.
to get
It's
adapted.
okay. It's
We
okay.
immediately can say Gauri. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Gauri. And now,
Yeah.
Dr. D. Ravi would like to share something.
Yeah. Uh, we also, as Ms. Gauri rightly pointed out here, we have a tendency of using two comparatives. Actually, the light is brighter. That's enough. We say he is more handsome, but people say more handsomer. It has two comparatives here. This is also one common mistake committed by the unmindful speaker in India. I cannot say everybody say this, but unmindful speakers are users from India. Thank you, Ms. Gauri, to bringing this issue into a discussion. Thank you so much.
There is one more
Uh,
question, Dr. Ravi.
Yeah,
Please,
please.
I would like to know, how can we overcome MTI from our language?
Yeah. Uh, Thank you, Sarita, for your question. Ms. Sarita, for your question. It's a very interesting one. Of course, all my talk is indirectly talking about this. You should raise the awareness, then try to bring the dissimilarities between L1, L2. Therefore, we can raise the consciousness of the user. That's one way. The second way, when you're learning language, any L2, please fix good role models. Much of L2 is learned by imitating others. When you want to imitate, please imitate a better role model. This is how you can overcome. Of
okay.
course, Miss Sarita, there are plenty of videos on YouTube. They can help you. Please, browse them. Thank you for your question.
Can I add something to this, Dr. Ravi, if you don't
Yeah,
mind?
please, Miss Gauri.
Please go ahead, Gauri.
Okay. All right. Uh, Sarita Garu, I'm addressing you directly, but this is intended for all our participants. MTI actually can be expanded into two things. One is mother tongue's interference, and the other one is mother tongue's influence on the language we speak. So this happens at two levels. One, at a structural level, when you want to construct sentences in English and your mother tongue keeps interfering with these structures. So what most of us end up doing is that we translate, like Dr. Ravi rightly pointed out, we translate the sentence structure as it is from our L1 to L2, in this case, Telugu to English. Okay, so that is mother tongue interfering with the target language. The second one is the influence, which happens at the sound level. So the sounds that we have in our mother tongue, maybe there are some commonalities between the sounds of English and our mother tongue, but English has got its own sound system and our language has got its own sound system. So consonants and the vowels in English are different from the consonants and the vowels of our mother tongue. So when you use the sounds of your mother tongue to pronounce English words, sentences, structures, that is called mother tongue influence. So one thing is that none of us can really get rid of the MTI 100%. We can try to neutralize our accent. We can try to speak English like the native English speakers do. But then again, there is a lot of confusion because Australians are native English speakers, Americans are native English speakers, Britishers are native English speakers. So we do not know whose accent, and they've got their own accents of English. So we get lost and we get confused and we end up serving a mixed bowl of English. So one best thing that you could do is first identify the sounds of English, the pure sounds of English, and then speak more deliberately when you speak and try to pronounce each and every word very, very clearly. Now, if you look at the video presentations, going by Dr. Ravi's example, if you look at the video presentations, the presenter could be an American, an Australian, or a Britisher. But if that video is made for the purpose of teaching a concept, then you will notice that these guys speak very deliberately and very slowly so as to be understood by people across the world and accents and languages. So that's a very good idea. But by and large, you can get rid of your mother tongue interference and influence only by listening to uh, people who are at a certain level. Like TED is a very good platform, that is Technology, Education, and Design. TED. You can watch the talk shows on TED, and you can listen to BBC podcasts on BBC 6 Minute English. So all these
Yeah,
will definitely help you neutralize your accent.
yeah, very good. Thank you, Ms. Gauri.
Thank you.
You
Thank
gave
you. Thank
very,
you.
very elaborative answer.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hope
Anyone?
that you can take a session on the topic also on a
Yeah,
How to
Miss
work on
Definitely.
MTI, Ms. Gauri. That'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to it, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, any other questions from anyone? People are applauding you. Informative session. There's a question from Ramesh, and he would like to know that. Finally,
Yeah.
let us know one activity that can enhance fluency daily. Fluency.
The fluency in English. You
Yeah.
mean, look at there are many activities. You can conduct a game. You just go to classroom with some words, right words, pronunciation. You can play songs there. You can give a sheet to the students, learners, and mix some words there, mix some verbs, nouns, whatever the words you want to teach them, correct pronunciation. You miss them and play the song. They have to listen to the song and fill in the gaps. That's one thing. Or you just play one, as Ms. Gauri rightly pointed out, you take just help of the videos from BBC. They're exceptionally good to develop pronunciation. You play them, ask them, listen to them, and you ask them identify some nouns, some adjectives, some adverbs, some prepositions. That's how you can really improve their fluency in pronunciation. Thank you for your question.
Yeah. Any other questions or queries or any comments or compliments, learnings can be shared.
Yeah, I'm so happy to see your overwhelming responses. And thank you for being a patient, active participant in my session. Thank you so much.
Yeah, if there is any possibility of unmuting your video, can you all unmute your video so that we'll give a thumbs up to the Dr. D. Ravi, who has made this session wonderful, informative, and there are a lot of learnings now how we can work on what are the common errors or the mistakes made by the uh, unmindful people who speak in general without knowing knowingly or unknowingly. Can we all unmute yourself and give a big thumbs up to Dr. D. Ravi? Can you please do it all, please? Yeah, yeah, very good,
Oh,
very good. All
thank
of you,
you,
please,
thank
all
you,
of
thank
you,
you, thank you,
give a big thumbs up to Dr. Ravi.
thank you, thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
thank you.
Others also, please. Thank you, Venugopal. Thank you, Gurucharan. Thank you,
Thank you,
Ratnakar,
thank you.
Gauri. Thank you, everyone. Bayaridi Sandhya, thank you. Thank you, Venugopal. Thank you very much. It was a wonderful session, Dr. Ravi. Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
time and making it to happen and sharing a lot of information related to the English language, especially the cultural and even the structural differences that we had. What is the difference between the Indian languages and also other language like English? Thank you so much. And we are conducting this session every day at 5 o'clock in the evening and 7 o'clock. One more session is going to happen today also. I've shared the link, how to prepare e-portfolio. Dr. B. Murli is going to speak on this topic. So I request you, if you're interested, you can register and attend the session at 7 o'clock too. And every day, 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock, we are doing it. And I observe that most of the faculty are here who are intellectuals. If anybody is willing to share your knowledge, you're welcome. I shared my number in the group. And I request everybody to subscribe the YouTube channel. On my name, it is Dr. Mahipati Srinivasrao. Please do subscribe. Thank you once again, Dr. D. Ravi, for making the wonderful session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.